What's going on? Out today at Pinchot State Forest for a much needed camping trip. It has been like 2 months since I have been out camping. I've had the opportunity, like time wise, just haven't had the weather for it. It's been real rainy this winter. So for the first time like 18 months, I have a month where I missed camping. And I'm so disappointed about that. It was like, since August of 2017, I've been out at least once a month, except for February of 2019. So it's getting towards the end of March, and this crow is not happy I'm recording. And I am out here at Pinchot State Forest in the car camping spot number 2. It's a Sunday night, so I'm going to have to get up early and leave so I can be at work. But just kind of enjoying it. So, I don't know, then we'll go walk around, take a look at what we got. Yeah, let's go do that. So this is site number 2. I've been here a couple times. I don't think I've ever actually really shown the site. So there's one site down this way. I think that's number 3 is that way. And then down the road this way is number 1, right by these trees is in there. Pretty big site. But I like number 2 because it's a little bit smaller, a little more secluded. And it's got this whole big grove of hemlocks and pines back behind her. And I got the hammock set up back there. As you can tell, there's still snow out here. There's nothing back at home. And they still got probably 2 inches here. So it's probably my last snow camp. Sad face. My last snow camp of this winter. Well, actually, it's spring now. Yeah, so I got the hammock set up back there. And maybe I'll show you guys that. I haven't shown that in a while. And my frozen fire pit. And I got some firewood with me. And probably won't use the picnic table. I've got a chair. I was going to go tarpless. And I still might as the temperatures drop a little bit. But I got a piece of ice on there right now. The snow and everything up in the trees is melting. And it's pelting the hammock. So I am going netless. That's my coyote pack. I'll put a link to that down the bottom. My Hemlock Mountain Outdoors Coyote Pack, if you're unaware. If you're watching this and you've never watched my videos before, Hemlock Mountain Outdoors is my company. And I make hammocks. And pretty much all the gear you see here is mine. The tarp, the hammock, the quilts. I make these. I'm not selling them yet. I'm still working on some issues. My monster turtle-looking monstrosity of a winter underquilt that keeps me warm. Pillow is not mine, and the poles are not mine, but everything else is stuff I make. But the bug net on that I got retracted. So have not slept in the hammock in far too long. Very excited about that. And I do have a trip coming up in a couple of weeks from today. I'm not sure when this video will post. I might be on that trip, but a bunch of us are meeting up down in Kentucky again. So very excited about going back to Kentucky. And Dragon and Panda are kidnapping me and taking me to Kentucky. You can see how upset I am about that. So let's take a walk down the old forest roads and we'll see what's going on. Pretty cool old stump. So I am on the Birch Still Trail, and I've been on this before. Last year I did a backpacking trip out here, and I used this trail. But what I didn't realize, there was so much snow last time that I don't know if you can make it out, but back here you can see the grade. That's the forest road. I just walked all the way up past this, about a quarter mile, got on a trail, and then it follows all the way back down and turns here. But oh well, it is what it is. You just like the last time I was here, you can tell what was road and what was woods. There was a lot of snow. But we're going along. We're about ready to meet up with down here, and I don't know if you can hear the water running, but that is Sand Spring Run. So what I'm gonna do, since we have more daylight now, is I'm gonna hike down this trail a little bit. This is gonna bring me up to Phelps Road, which is like a big lollipop road, which is right down by where I backpack in a few times, that Keller Swamp Trail down there. Let me check this out. A lot of old mossy stumps out here. It's pretty cool. And trail is pretty decent shape. A little slushy in spots, but not too bad, as you can probably tell. But I'm kind of keeping an eye out for tracks, which is hard because a lot of snow's melting. But looking for things like possums and porcupines and raccoons and even bear, because they are all starting to wake up now. And coyote. This is a trail last year where I saw the coyote was running right in front of me. So he had to be like this. The trail goes out and turns. He had to be right out in front of me up there, like maybe a couple hundred yards. The tracks were fresh, and he was marking the trail, let me know he was here, or she was here, and that was pretty cool. And I also saw where that owl came down, picked up something. Very quiet, very nice. All right, I'll get down to Sand Spring Run, and I'll bring you back. So here we are at Sand Springs Run. A lot of water still. And it's spring, and I say still because we had so much rain last year that this area never really dried out. But I have seen my first wildlife sighting today. Seen some birds, heard some birds. Haven't seen any squirrels or chipmunks or anything yet today. And then just as I was coming around a corner, right through the woods here, big old white-tailed deer went bounding through. Hoping to hear some owls and or some coyotes tonight. That would be cool. This tract of land is really, I guess kind of, I don't want to say notorious, but notorious to me for hearing owls and coyotes. Hear them a lot out here. I got some really good audio last year, probably about 2 miles from where I'm standing right now, over on Choke Creek. The owls are right in camp with myself and Forest and Streams, like right over the hammocks, and they were just chattering away. It's pretty cool. And there's bugs. There's bugs. A little buggy. Did not bring bug spray. I wasn't expecting to need it. But I guess it is that time of year. So you can just see all the runoff creating this little marshy area, just running through. Beautiful spot. Got the lone red pine just hanging out here. Now, can't tell that this is actual ground or just leaves sitting on water. Looks like ground. Look how nice this is. So peaceful. I think I'm getting bit by a mosquito. So I was checking out these very cool trees here at this moss, and I came across that. That is porcupine poop, which means there could be a porcupine up in this tree. Could be up there. I don't see one, but it doesn't mean he's not up there or nearby. So porcupines like to eat bark, and makes their little poops look like sawdust. So I don't see anybody up there. But it would make me think that there's one nearby. So there is the sign for the, well, I guess this would be the west end of the Birch Sill Trail. We've made it out to Phelps Road. And a couple times I've road hiked on this in the past few videos out here. And I've gone off that way. Keller Swamp is out there. And sometimes you can get across that, sometimes it's so swampy. I go down here to where the trail used to go across, where it is less swampy. But now I'm going to road hike back up to Tannery Road. I think it's about a 3/4 mile hike, it's not that far. And then back over to the campsite. Now normally, you could just drive down this road. Alright, this is just a forest road. But, I mean, there's not much snow here, obviously. But a couple days ago, this is probably covered. It's been very warm. So in the spring, so if you are planning on visiting a Pennsylvania State Forest, you're planning on driving into the inner roads, the forest roads, around, I think it's March, end of February, beginning of March, a lot of forests close the roads completely. So we always check that. Just because there's roads doesn't mean they're necessarily going to be open. These are dirt. All right, so these are dirt roads. You can see there's snowmobile trail there, track, but there's dirt roads. They're soft. They're very well maintained, but they keep them well maintained by closing them this time of year. because they do get soft, and cars put a lot of wear and tear on. So they'll close them, partly for the snowmobiles, partly to keep the roads maintained. So, like I said, if you're going out to a Pennsylvania State Forest, this is Pinchot. I think Delaware does the same thing. I'm guessing out in the central and western part of the states they do the same. Just always check, because you don't want to get out somewhere thinking you're going to drive back to a parking area and then get there and the gate's closed and you can't get in. A lot of times what I'll do if I'm hiking out here or camping, backpacking, I'll park up at the main road, even if the road's open and you can drive on it. If it's snowy, instead of driving through the snow and messing up the snow for the snowmobilers, because we don't have a lot of snowmobile trail in this area. You've got Pinchot State Forest, and then you've got the Delaware State Forest, and that's about it. There's not a whole lot of snowmobile trails out here, so I try not to mess up, because I get to hike this stuff year round. If I gotta hike another mile or two round trip and not destroy the snowmobile trails, and that's what I'll do. Just kind of common courtesy to people who only get like maybe 2 or 3 months of enough snow to actually, maybe, if you're lucky, to snowmobile. So we're gonna continue on back up to the camp, and I'll probably, unless I see something crazy, I'll see you when I get up there. Well, I'm back at camp. Got a nice fire going. And had a little dinner. Really roughing it today. With the big chair and the car right there and the fire ring. Cooked up some hot dogs. Probably not the best meal to have, but they're quick and easy. This fire ring was solid snow and ice. So I propped up my door flame log on a couple pieces of wood to keep it up off the ice, and it's been going pretty good. I'll probably stay out here. The sun just set, so I'll probably stay here by the fire for another, I don't know, maybe an hour. I guess it depends if it gets too close to the water and it goes out. I'll just go get in the hammock. Just a day to relax. Oh, so here, let me show you this. If you get one of these sites, here at Pinchot, these drive-in sites are free, but you have to reserve them. So you call them up and they'll email you the permit, and then you just print it up yourself. So there's what it looks like right there. So yeah, you call them up, they let you know if anybody's got the site reserved. If they don't, email you a permit. There's no charge. It's very, very nice. And these sites are relatively quiet. It was weird, when I got back from the hike, like 4 cars drove by, and they would all stop right. I came back and I sat in the Jeep for a minute because I had some coffee left in there, so I was drinking my coffee, and I was just looking at the map to kind of figure how far I went. I did like 4.5 miles, and 2 or 3 of the cars stopped right in front of where I was sitting, and he just sat there. I don't know if they were surprised to see somebody back here camping, and I guess most people don't assume you're going to camp in the snow, and I guess you see less car camping in the snow. I don't know. It was weird. We had a lot of traffic, but now it should be quiet. I might see a ranger drive by. Maybe. They do check these sites, which is nice to see. But then hoping to hear some owls, some coyotes, something. It's been really oddly quiet. I heard a nut hatch off on the side here about a half hour ago. That's really the only thing I've heard since I got back from break. So hopefully. Nope, that's a jet. Hopefully the wildlife wakes up when I hear something. So you might be wondering, if you've never hammock camped, what it's like to be in a hammock. This is basically the setup. I've got my bug net off, and I got my tarp on. But I got my quilt, which I have elastic here to go up around the back of my head here. Keeps the all the warm air in. In the summer, I wouldn't use something this heavy. It would just be a lighter quilt. But there's a lot of room here. You know, out underneath my tarp. This is a very big tarp. So it's swinging all the way out. I mean, that's lots of room. And I'm laying pretty flat. Good morning. It's about 7:30. I had originally recorded close last night, but it was so it was dark and the flash of the camera was so bright that the camera kept on kind of panning up and I couldn't tell, so I wasn't even in frame half the time. So it's gonna do it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Just a little bit of a much needed getaway for me. If you liked the video, hit the thumbs up, leave a comment. When was the last time you just got out and did a getaway because you had to? Got a trip coming up in a couple weeks, excited for, and have that one up. So go out, have some fun, go outside and do something, and I'll see you in the next.